Hey there, welcome to the video once again. It feels like we just talked to each other a few days ago. Well, that's true, but there was just one problem with our last video. I just made a tiny mistake. Now, wasn't on purpose. Everything I do in these videos is trying to be 100% accurate. I want you to be able to replicate anything I talk about in any video I've made over the years. Everything should be able to be done on your computer just like it's done on mine. But if you dug deep into the system, you would have found a discrepancy, and that is not acceptable. So please accept my apology. I made a tiny mistake, and let's get to it and fix that mistake. All right. Now, in the last video, we talked about trading the overnight session on the NQ, the NASDAQ E-mini. We're just trading overnight. The theory is most of the gains, or at least a huge chunk of the gains in the stock market, come overnight, meaning between the close and the open of the next day. Feels weird, right? That trading during the day, if you just bought at the beginning and then got out at the close of live trading, it seems like that should be where all the action is. And it turns out it's not. So this system is just trying to get as much out of the overnight session. Okay, and as you can see on the slide, almost everything we talked about in the last video was true. All the concepts, all the background, all the color behind the system, all of that is accurate. Except for the part about the overnight trading rules, okay? There was one thing left out, wasn't intentional, wasn't trying to mislead you. I'm deeply, deeply sorry, but there was one thing left out, and I just realized it about an hour ago. So that's why we're here once again. Now, let's go over the basic rules, or the rules you may have seen in the last video. This is the overnight system. Again, we're just trying to trade the overnight system, so we're buying at the end of the 1600 Eastern Time bar. We're just trying to get in right before the close. You can do this manually very easily. We're holding it and then getting out at the open the next day. Or if you're writing code at the close of the 9:30 Eastern Time bar. If you're clicking buttons, all you got to do is get in right before the close and then get out at the open the next day. Okay. Now, we talked about in the last video, only do it early in the week. That's a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday. We're not doing the end of the week. Okay. That's great. And if you do that, here's what you get. That's different than last video. That's why we're here, okay? If you don't put a stop loss on it, notice there was no stop there. If you don't put a stop loss on it and do exactly that, amazing, right? You get a ton of profit. It's really kind of mind-blowing. The problem is, look at the drawdown. Way bigger. That's way bigger than we talked about. That's not good, okay? So maybe it was a stop loss. We talked about a stop loss in the last video of $6,700 per contract. Well, we do get more profit, but we only get a little less drawdown. Now, while this is definitely interesting to trade this way, it's not as good as what we talked about before. And why is that? Because there was one secret rule left out, and it's absolutely not a secret, and it absolutely was unintentional. So here we go. Same thing here. Buy at the end, 1600 bar, sell at the open of the next day, 930 bar. Only do it earlier in the week, and only do it if the close is lower than yesterday's close. In other words, only trade these rules above on a down day. We're essentially buying the dip. We're essentially buying the pullback, however you want to think about it. We're not doing it on just any old day. We only do it on a pullback day. That was not in the video, and now it is, right? Now you know. And when we add that one rule, which is supposed to be there in the first place, you get this chart, and that's exactly the chart. I've double-checked it and triple-checked it, and that's the chart we saw in the last video. Pretty amazing. And this is from the last video also. These are the annual returns. You can see since 2017, it's just outrageous. Outrageous. Now, there are some losing years, but they're tiny. Like we talked about it last time. This could almost be traded by itself if you could make it through some really tiny losing years, because the winning years are great. And will this continue? I mean, look at how much it's upticked. And look at 2022 bear market, by the way. Overnight bullish gains during a bear market were outrageous. Crazy, right? So if you add that one rule, everything will be as discussed before, okay? Bottom line is buying the dip on this system is the thing I left out, and that's the super secret sauce. Please keep that in mind. It does make money overnight, but it's better to buy it, obviously, on a down day. So please keep that in mind. As I mentioned, please forgive my mistake. It was an honest mistake, and no. You don't have to forgive me either, I guess. Elite members get the code for this and everything for free. There is a performance page portfolio, PPP, doing very, very well. I watch that literally every day. And there's a new dividend income program. If you like high yield, I just started that up, and that's super fun and is my latest obsession. So I apologize for misleading you, but it's great to talk to you again. Maybe we'll do it again soon. Bye for now.